Dear all, welcome to the playlist of Training on Competitive Examinations. In this session, I'll be discussing most important previous year question papers which are asked for various competitive examination. This will really helpful for you for preparing the upcoming examinations. Let's have brief discussion on individual question. Before that, I would like to inform you that I am going to cover the previous year question papers based on transformers and generators. So let us have individual discussion. Moving on to first question. Which of the following statements is false related to a transformer? Option A. It transfers electric power from one circuit to another. Electromagnetic induction. It does not with change in frequency. Two electric circuits are mutually inductive influence of each other. Which would be the false statement? So I should say that it transfers electric power from one circuit to another. That is true. Similarly, it obeys or it operates based on the principle of electromagnetic induction. That is also true. Then regarding third statement, it does not change in frequency. It does change with the frequency. So actually, frequency will not be changing. That's a peculiarity. But if you analyze the third statement, that is 100% wrong related to transformer. If I look at last statement, two electric circuits are mutually inductive influence of each other. That is true. So among four statement, I should say that option C is wrong. So our question is you need to identify a false statement from the particular option. I need to opt question number C. Option number C is the right answer. Okay. I would like to discuss about the next question. Another name of Swinburne's test is option A back-to-back test, option B no load test, option C Hopkins test, and option D load test. So another name of Swinburne's test is also known as no load test. You can go for option B. Let us discuss more on Swinburne's test, then Hopkins test, back-to-back test, etc. It will be really helpful for preparing for competitive examination. So moving on to Swinburne's test. It is mainly applicable for predetermining the efficiency of DC machines. Normally, we are going to use shunt and compound one DC machines. Moreover, we can able to predetermine the no load losses. So these are the peculiarities of Swinburne's test. Okay. If I talk about back-to-back test, it is also known as Supner's test. It is applicable for the transformers. It is mainly used for calculation of temperature rise, iron loss, and copper loss. If I mention about Hopkins test, it is also known as back-to-back test, or you can call regenerative test. In this test, we are going to use two machines. Both should be identical. One machine will act as motor, another will act as generator. Here we can able to calculate efficiency of the DC machine. That's a peculiarity of Hopkins test. So these are the popular tests which are associated with the DC machines and transformers. I would like to discuss about third question. Condition corresponding to maximum efficiency of transformer is copper loss equal to dash. Hysteresis loss, eddy current loss, iron loss, none of this. Obviously, it's a simple question. Condition corresponding to maximum efficiency of transformer is when copper loss equal to iron loss. Iron loss is also known as core loss. Actually, iron loss is a sum of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. So I can go for option C. Option C is the right answer. So you can able to calculate one relation. You can able to find out one relation between iron loss and copper loss. I2 square into RES, that is equal to Pi, where Pi is known as iron loss. Then I2 square RES is known as copper loss. I square R basically. So from this I can able to calculate the load current. That's I2 is equal to square root of Pi upon RES. So this is one of the important formula. Similarly, I can able to make out one more relation, that means copper loss equal to x square into Pc. What is x here? X is the fraction of full load kVA at which efficiency of the transformer is maximum. You are saying that X is the fraction of full load kVA at which efficiency of the transformer is maximum. So Pi is known as iron loss. You can equate X square Pc, that is belong to copper loss, then Pi means iron loss. X square Pc equal to Pi. From this I can able to calculate the fraction of full load kVA belongs to load. That means X square equal to Pi divided by Pc. From that I can able to calculate x equal to square root of Pi divided by Pc. This is one of the most important relation. It will be helpful for you for solving the problem. Okay, these kind of questions can be asked. Let me let me discuss question number 4. Weight of copper in auto transformer equal to dash into weight of copper in ordinary transformer. You need to compare ordinary transformer and auto transformer. Auto transformer is a single winding transformer where ordinary transformer is two winding transformer. There is a relationship between saving in copper. That means weight of copper in auto transformer equal to, from this option we have to identify. That means 1 minus K. I can go for option D, 1 minus K into weight of copper in ordinary transformer. So there is a relation that you have to remember where K is known as turns ratio. Okay. So this is the relation and which can be asked for upcoming examination. You can keep in your mind. I would like to discuss about question number 5. Condition for maximum efficiency of DC generator is variable loss equal to dash. Total loss, constant loss, mechanical loss and magnetic loss. Which would be the right answer? According to the condition for maximum efficiency of generator, the variable loss should be equal to constant loss. So I can go for option B. So let us have a brief discussion on various losses in a DC generator. So mechanical power will be the input and electrical power will be obviously the output. So in between losses are happening like stray losses, copper loss and core loss and mechanical loss. So generally we can write what is constant loss. Constant loss is nothing but stray loss and shunt field copper loss, that you can call constant loss. So variable loss is nothing but copper loss and core loss is collectively known as variable loss. Okay, so we can equate variable loss equal to constant loss. Okay. Similarly, magnetic loss and mechanical losses are generally known as stray losses. That point also you can remember. So these are the different questions. Let me continue. One more relation you have to remember. Hysteresis loss can be calculated by using the formula that is known as Steinmer's formula, that is given by pH. Okay, that is pH means total hysteresis loss, that is equal to Steinmer's constant eta into b to the power 1.6 maximum F into V, where this is actually you can call B, not beta. B means flux density, magnetic flux density, flux divided by area, that is known as magnetic flux density. F is the frequency and V is the applied voltage. So we can say that the hysteresis loss that is directly proportional to frequency. Okay, similarly you can write the expression for eddy current loss also. Similarly, we can make out one relation in condition for maximum efficiency of DC generator, that is equal to variable loss equal to constant loss. That means I square Ra, that is equal to Wc. I square IL square Ra, that is equal to Wc. This is belong to copper loss, that is equal to Wc. Wc is constant loss. Okay. Variable loss equal to constant loss. From this you can able to get the expression that is IL, that is equal to square root of Wc divided by Ra. This is also one of the important relation. Moving on to question number 6. Which of the following statement is false about the condition for voltage buildup in DC shunt generator? Option A. There must be some residual magnetism in the poles. The shunt field coil should be correctly connected to the armature. If excited on open circuit, its shunt field resistance should be less than critical resistance. If excited on open circuit, its shunt field resistance should be greater than critical resistance. According to the voltage buildup theory, option A, option B and option C. Let us consider individual options. Which would be the right answer? Okay, let us have an individual analysis. So from this analysis, we can say that option D is wrong. So option A, B, C, all are correct. That means there must be some residual magnetism in the poles. That is true. The shunt field coil should be correctly connected to the armature. That's also 100% true. Similarly, this is one of the most important concept related to critical resistance. If excited on open circuit, its shunt field resistance should be less than critical resistance. You need to plot the graph and you are able to find out the critical resistance. So this is correct. A, B, C all are correct. But option D, if I talk about option D, if excited on open circuit, its shunt field resistance should be greater than critical resistance. This is 100% wrong. So I can find out option D. That is the right answer for the question. So these are the conditions for voltage buildup in DC generator. Poles should contain some residual flux. Then field and armature winding must correctly connected to the initial MMF adds to the residual flux. Then resistance of the field winding must be less than critical resistance. Okay. Speed of prime mover of generator must be above the critical speed. Similarly, generator must be on load. Brushes must have proper contact with commutators. So these are the different conditions for voltage buildup of DC shunt generator. This you have to keep in your mind. Similar kind of questions can be asked for competitive examination. Now I will be proceeding with the next question. In a DC generator, the rotating part is dash field magnet, armature, armature and field commutator. Here, the question is very simple. You may be getting confusion. Here we can say that in a DC generator, the rotating part is absolutely armature. So let us have a observation on the structure of generator, DC generator. We are having yoke. It is the external covering. Then we are having poles. It is made up of permanent magnet, or you can also make out with the help of electromagnet. That's also possible. Then field winding is available. This is the armature part. This is the rotating part. Then we are having a commutator. The main function of commutator is to convert the fluctuating DC to direct current. Okay. So it is also known as mechanical rectifier. That is another question related to commutator. Commutator material is made up of hard drawn copper. That is also another important question. These are the things which you can remember. Now I would like to discuss about question number 8. Iron loss in the armature consists of hysteresis loss and dash. Copper loss, shunt field loss, eddy current loss and mechanical loss. It's a very simple question. Iron loss in the magnetic in the armature comprises of hysteresis loss and eddy current loss. I can go for option C. So you can able to calculate the eddy current loss. A humming sound is produced in a distribution transformer when it is working. It is due to. What is the answer for this question? Humming loss, humming sound. Humming sound is produced in a distribution transformer when it is working. It is due to core loss, magnetic loss, vibration of core and lack of oil. The right answer is, this is because of humming loss is because of vibration of core. So I can go for option C. Moving on to last question. Alternators are rated in kVA, kW, HP, kVAR. kVA means apparent power, kW active power, and kVAR, it is actually reactive power. Which would be the right answer? Normally, alternators are expressed rated in terms of kVA. Even transformers also expressed in terms of kVA. So I can go for option A. Option A is the right answer. Thank you very much for watching this video. If you found this channel useful, please don't forget to subscribe. I request you to share the channel, share the information those who are preparing for competitive examination. I have one more channel regarding non-technical examination. So I have prepared a lot of videos on non-technical examinations or non-technical questions. So you may share with your friends. Thank you very much for continuous support.